Okay. So, hey guys, I have Nilesh with me. Okay. And we will be having a mock-up interview with Nilesh. And then towards the end, I'll give some feedback. So, Nilesh, can you start with your introduction, like what you have
Yes,
done? And yeah, please go ahead.
yes. This is Nilesh Verma, and I have completed my Master of Computer Science from Atal Bihari Vajpayee Vishwavidyalaya, Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh.
Mm-hmm.
In learning my masters, I have worked on a different kind of machine learning and deep learning project in a 6 month of period under my professor guideline. So this is basically internship period under my professor. So from there, we have developed some of the model, and some of the our projects are published on a research paper also. Those like Elsevier and InterScience research paper. We have published our projects. So projects are basically based on machine learning, NLP, and computer vision.
Mm-hmm.
After completing my masters, I have joined at a JP Data Solution. So from there, I have worked on a 6 month of internship. This is basically internship. So in there, I have also worked on a different kind of machine learning modeling and some data analytical part. And after that, I have also done 1 month of internship in TaskBench. From there, I have worked on mostly on a web scraping part, on automation part, and then currently I am finding a full-time opportunity.
Okay. So, you are working currently or you're looking for some opportunities? So, are you currently?
Yes, sir. Actually,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
go
your
ahead.
voice is dropping, sir.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Uh, no, sir. I am currently not working. I'm just currently
Okay,
finding
okay,
an opportunity.
okay. So, what kind of work did you do in the internship? Can you explain some of these work, like any one project that you are
Uh,
comfortable with?
Yeah, sir. I have worked on a different kind of projects related to machine learning, deep learning, and NLP. So this is the one of the NLP I have worked on very interesting project. So this project have in a pandemic in COVID-19 pandemic time, there is people are sending their emotion on Twitter. Their thought on Twitter. So
Hmm.
we thought about let's start analyzing the Twitter data. From there we have analyzes the before the pandemic what people are thinking about COVID-19 and what their thought and negative, positive, and all this sentiment and emotion. What is their emotions after pandemic happens? What their emotion are changed or maybe constant or not? So this is the basically problem statement we have to solve. Okay. So for that we have extracted the data from the Twitter from the
Hmm.
before the pandemic 1 month before the pandemic after 1 month after pandemic after 22 March after the lockdown is happened and so we have created extracted data from that date. Okay, so for those data we have analyze even perform the we create the classification model and perform the sentiment and emotional analysis. From there we have take we have result here. The result basically in the result we have found the people are before the pandemic having more positive sentiments. Some of the people are more happy, their emotion is more happy, more positive. The nature is basically more positive. And after the pandemics come, the people nature are more mostly go to the depressive part or some negative part. People are more talking to the negative. The fear are basically increase. So this output we have get from there.
So, what kind of data you took? I mean, you took for some particular kind of people, or how did you gather the data?
For that, sir, for the Twitter, we have extracted the hashtag basically. So people are when the people are tweeted from the hashtag in COVID-19 pandemic, like this type of the
Oh,
related to COVID-19 keywords, we have extracted the data.
okay, from this keyword. Okay.
Yeah, okay,
So,
okay.
you did the use case in which tool using Python?
Yeah, sir. Basically, I use Python for the analysis and
Okay.
model building. So, can I explain the technical part, sir?
Yes, yes. Before that, can you tell me how did you extract the data in Python?
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir. So for the in a Python, sir, there is two lab. One of library TubePy are very famous for the data extraction, but there are limitation basically. So we have in a 100 per minute we had only extract 100 data on Twitter. So for that didn't use the TubePy because there's a API limitation. We have Twint. Twint having there's no limitation. It's based on Selenium. So from there we have extracted more data. You are extracted the 1 lakh data without using any API. So we have just Twint library for the extracting the data.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, you can explain me the flow.
Sir, actually, your voice is very much. Yeah, sir. From there we have extracted data, and after extracting the data, like we have like data cleaning part. So from there we have cleaned data, like removing the hashes, removing the stop word and limitation and stemming and all these things. So some simple text preprocessing we have done. After preprocessing, we have two choice for the sentiment analysis. There is pre-built library like TextBlob and Vader. So we choose Vader because with the Vader having like dictionary based approach for the analysis, the all the sentiments and all. And after for the emotional analysis, there is no model in like currently we have founded on that. So we have built our own model using CNN and LSTM. We have hybrid model, we have built it, and after from there we have predict the emotion of the people.
Okay. So CNN and LSTM you told, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So how did you use this hybrid model? I mean, how did you, can you throw some light on that? What is CNN doing
Yes,
and what is
yeah,
LSTM?
yeah. Basically, sir, for the text classification, there is sequence of sequence data. Okay. So for there, we need to analyze the sequence first of all. Okay. But in CNN help us to extract the feature also. The CNN basically used for the text data to extract high level of feature on a text, and then the LSTM maintain the sequence of the model. So this combination are very much efficient to text classification. So we have chosen on that CNN and LSTM model.
Okay. So in CNN, did you use pooling?
No, sir. The simple CNN we have didn't pulling. So CNN was only using for feature extraction, and then that's it. For the embedding, sir, we have used word-to-vec embedding,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have put it down to CNN.
And for LSTM, what kind of functions we used in optimization and all those things? What kind of layers? What kind of
So
mechanism?
same, I just use simple one because in simple one we have got good like simple one like default ADAM we have used for the optimization,
Mm-hmm.
and default in output layer we have used the softmax activation function we have used for output in
Okay.
that model.
Okay. So can you tell me what is the role of activation function in a neural network?
Yes, sir. Basically, neural network is a if you talking about the brain, how human brain are learn something so that kind the neural network is basically inspired by the human brain, the human neuron, how the human neuron are work and learn something. So from there, the basically the neural network are basically inspired. Okay. So in neural network, basically there is two layer simple we call it simple neural network. Here, one is input layer and one is output layer, and one is like activation function we have used. Okay. If you're talking about multi-layer neural network, so there is one hidden layer added, and that's
Mm-hmm.
going on.
Okay. So what does activation function do is
Yes,
my
sir.
question. What is the use of activation function?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir. The activation function is basically set. You can say the transformation function. Basically, we apply an activation function to introduce the non-linearity on a basic on a upper model, basically. So that can be more effective. We can create the model.
Okay. And you used in the output layer softmax function. Can
Softmax. Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir. Basically, if going to the softmax function, we have need to learn what is sigmoid. Sigmoid is basically sir function. This is S-shape sigmoid S-shape. Basically, the output are basically used for the probability 0 to 1. Basically, so they give the 0 to 1 probabilities. Okay. Softmax is basically combination of different kind of we can say like combination of sigmoid function. Basically, is used for the multi-class classification problem. So we have
okay.
like multi-class, so that's why we have used to softmax function for the
What are the classes in your
classification.
data? What are the classes in a multi-class
Yeah,
scenario?
sir, your voice is breaking actually.
Is it better now?
Yeah, sir, multi-class. Yeah, it is better, sir. So for the multi-class classification, like the 7 classes we have, like happy, sad, negative,
So
neutral, like that.
how did you assign those classes? I mean, how
Yeah,
did
this
you?
is a label data, sir. We have found on the internet. There is the data called emotion parts data. We have found on Kaggle. So from there, I have take the data, label data. I have taken.
So how did you map your tweets to this labels using some package or something?
No, sir. Sir, first of all, we create the model. The Qt is simple data. There's no label. No. After we, first of all, we train our data from the data we have got on the Kaggle. This is label data. We have trained the model in label data. After that, we have used for the prediction of the unseen data. Basically, Twitter is unseen data. So for there, we can use the prediction
So for
after
the
creating the model.
training, you have not used Twitter data.
No, sir. Basically, this we need to predict, no, sir. There's no no target. We need to predict the actually emotion. So for that, we need to create the model first. So we created the model, and after that, we have predicted all the data.
No, so I am trying to understand your training data. So you are first you did not speak about any Kaggle data, right? You are speaking about just the Twitter data.
Yeah, sir. Oh, actually, for the model, I talked about model development, so that's why I just forgot to mention that.
Spoke about model prediction first before development.
Yeah.
For develop you
Yeah,
take the
sir. Okay. Yeah. Okay, sir. Okay. Fine.
for development you take the Kaggle data. You are saying, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay, sir.
Okay, that's what. So this is a typical problem in NLP use cases. That's why I
Yeah.
asked.
Yeah, sir. Okay.
Assigning the labels to the data.
Yeah, sir.
Okay, so this is about CNN and LSTM model you have worked on, which is good. Okay.
Yeah, sir.
After that, few stuff from neural network side. So are you aware of dropout layer?
Yes, sir. Basically, dropout is basically regularization parameter we have layer basically. So basically, there is randomly dropping some of the neural network, yeah, or yes, that's create the value to 0. So sometimes they overcome the overfitting of the model.
So what will happen if I say dropout is equal to 0.5?
It is basically 5% of the, I think the 5% of the value are randomly choose for the dropping, I think. Yes, sir.
When you say value, is it nodes or
Wait, sir. Wait, just create all the way to 0, random slice to 0. So in the next layer, so some of the layer are just initialize to 0 and then put out the next one.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So are you aware of gradient descent concept?
Uh, yeah, sir. I have learned it from your video also. So I just can you tell your example if no problem if you have not
Yeah.
told about.
You
Yeah.
can use.
So gradient descent we have just simple example if we're talking about. So if the one of the guy come out and say like I have let's guess and your friend let's guess what number I have got. So just you ask me how much number here in an exam they said 100 number 100 number I have in exam. So you said I have got like 10 number yeah you had got like 80 number. So they said no I don't got not got an 80 that level of number. So you said you got 70. No man, I didn't get like 17 also. So you can say like 75. Like from there we have guessing the matching on the this of reply of the guy. So like this gradient descent basically work. So gradient descent will basically this is parabola. So that basically optimizing the local minima or global minima from the adjusting the adjusting or changing the weight of the.
How is stochastic gradient descent different from gradient descent?
In gradient descents are basically the weight updation basically basically they take in gradient descent they take of whole data. After that they update their weight. In stochastic gradient descent basically it take every sample and then update the weight in every samples. Like if you have like 100,000 samples, so in 1,000 samples they are basically update the weight.
So what is good? What are pluses and minuses of SGD?
Gradient descent basically sir take lots of memory about first of all the memory and the coverage is in slow on gradient descent, and stochastic gradient descent some of the coverage are fast and the memory taken are also less compared to gradient descent.
Any other problems that you can think with SGD, stochastic gradient descent?
Currently I didn't I remember two. But I think there is different. But the mainly I have remember two, so that's why I just said that. So.
So there is something called mini batch gradient descent as well, right?
Yeah, sir. Mini batch this is basically taking the batch of the data and then they, in their batch they update the weight. So that's the basically different. In batch detect the batches many batches. So that is also very good. It is
Yeah.
also very coverage very fast and take memory take more memory compared to SSG, but less memory compared to gradient descent.
Okay. And what is so all these three things are there, which means all these three things have some advantage and disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
So that is what I was coming to ask. No problem.
Yeah, sir.
So apart from this area, what other areas you have worked on? Neural network. If we talk in machine learning algorithm point of view.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, sir. Machine learning. I have mostly I have worked on machine learning modeling, so I have good knowledge about machine learning also. And Python, I have also good knowledge about Python. Basically, I have worked on 1 year in Python basically, so I have good knowledge about Python also.
Machine learning, some models. Can you talk about which models you have worked on?
Sir, basically I have worked on a different kind of project. So basically, model is based on project. So I have for the every project I have chosen. I have uh, I have trained 5 to 10 models and choose one model which is the best, and then we perform the hyperparameter tuning and all this thing. So basically, it depends on a task, sir, which task we have chosen the model. So in that task, this is my favorite model. Like
Any example from your work?
uh, in previous, sir, I have I have worked on basically previous I think was algorithm. AdaBoost, I have worked on the company. There will be previous like, a company on working on it. And my project for basic I use this random forest or XGBoost. I have used different kind of machine learning. Yeah, this type of model I have used for the best. It is basically best model compared to all different model. I have tested. If you're talking about classifier classification, so I have which is SVM, Bayesian tree, and logistic regression, and all the model I have trained it and I got the best model. So I choose that model.
How do you decide which one is your best model?
Basically, sir, I have created the whole program pipeline. So from there, I have just put it on the data. From the data, they have cross-validate all the 10 model and give me the accuracy report. So
Hmm.
which one having the good accuracy, I choose the best that model, top. So after that, we have from the hyperparameter tuning and all this thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if there is a given use case, right?
Yeah,
Let's
sir.
let's say any one use case, I give it to you.
Yeah,
So
sir.
you will run, for example, if I tell you, give me the best model, right? So
Yeah, sir.
you will check different models, you will see the accuracy, and whichever gives the best accuracy,
Yeah,
you
sir.
you call that as the best model.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. So so what kind of models do you see anything in the data before choosing model? For example, if I give you a regression use case, then you can very well fit a linear regression model, or go for a random forest, or go for a normal SVM regression.
For the basically, sir, in data part, if I are talking about let's say about classification, if I talking about
Hmm.
if your problem is basically NLP part. So in NLP part, I have experience some naive bias are working very much more good, or some random forest are also working good. So I just go for random forest and random forest naive bias type of model, not going to the boosting model, XGBoost and all this thing. I just ignore it all this thing because in this type of model, boosting are not working very well in NLP part. If we have tabular data, so for that in tabular data, so some of the time the tabular data boosting method are working very fine, like when CataBoost and XGBoost are working very fine. So this thing I have just deciding so which model I have used.
Okay, based on your past experience, you just
Yeah.
see
Yeah,
which
sir.
model might do good in this data.
Yeah, sir.
Anything from explainability point of view, model explanation?
Yeah, you can choose, sir, any classification. So if I know, I can explain very.
No, no, my question is different. What I'm saying is,
Yeah, sir.
while choosing which model I will use for a given data, right? So this is one base that you are telling me. Your base is your past experience, right?
Yeah.
So is there anything that you would like to see? For example, um, if I tell you a employee attrition problem, okay,
Yes, sir. What, sir?
employee churn problem, employee attrition problem, okay.
Employee
So
addition. Like, what is the problem, sir? Can you describe? Actually, I didn't know about what. Yeah, yes.
okay, so let us say there is a company ABC, some
Yeah.
software company, okay.
Yes, sir.
So that software company is facing a problem that every quarter 30% of their employee leave the organization. Okay,
Okay.
30% of people leave for some or other reason. Okay,
Okay.
so the company is very much worried, and they come to you as a data scientist. They give their data to you, and they tell you, hey, I want your help in stopping this or minimizing this. Okay,
Okay.
so you will have the data, and you will have the record of people who left in last month or before that, some historical data.
Yeah. Historical data, sir.
This problem is called employee attrition problem or employee churn problem. Okay,
Yeah, sir.
So if this type of problem comes, my question to you is, will you go for a regression based model or a tree based model? Tree based model means all these bagging boosting categories, or
Mhm.
some neural network based models.
For that, sir, I think it is basically classification. If it is basically classification problem, binary classification. I think, and
Problem is a
go left.
classification
Yeah,
problem.
I think by binary classification, left or not left. I think,
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. So for that, sir, I think maybe the classification for that decision tree based model are work very well, and some of the logistic regression model are also work well. I think for the binary classification.
So take like 30 seconds of time and think. I'll tell you the problem statement again. Here the purpose is
Mm-hmm.
you have to minimize the attrition. So you have to help that company in minimizing their attrition. Okay. So does your answer change, or you want to add something?
Feature engineer also we can add feature engineering if we want to add. So we can also add the feature engineering part, or like I didn't work it on that type of problem, that problem. So yeah, maybe
Okay.
I have tried a different kind of model, and which we have one give you like good score. So I go for that. First up method I have do one thing, one method I have used. Second, I go for the past experience I have, and third is basically, yeah, you can say like the decent tree and all this thing model. So it is basically based on classification type. If you go for binary classification, so some of the logistic regression or decision tree based model are work good. So yeah, our naive Bayes all conditional based model are good for binary classification. So I go for that. That's
Okay. So forget this use case for a moment.
yeah, sir.
Tell me what is the difference between a regression family of models, for example, linear logistic regression, and
Hmm.
tree based model. Some basic differences between these categories of models.
uh, Basically, sir, what type of different like
I mean, how these models work and how the outputs are
yeah,
different.
okay. In basically we're talking about linear regression. So linear regression basically sir work on a linear formula, basically y equals mx c, like we know. So this is basically try to fit the best model, and from there we have like fit the baseline, and from there they used to minimize the residual sum of squared residual error from iteration every iteration, and then come out with the best coefficient value, and then we can create the model in linear regression. If you're talking about logistic regression model, logistic regression basically used for the classification problem. In logistic regression, the same of the linear function are calculated, linear model are calculated, but the output are basically a classification problem. So for that, we have used sigmoid function in every their output for the from the linear model. So basically, we have used logit function. They call logit function. We call. So we are using sigmoid function for that. So the sigmoid function generate the output from the 0 to 1. So we have like 0 1 output. So go for that. Yeah, and yes, sir. For the
Okay.
tree based model, sir, we have using like dividing to the feature on the basis of the basically feature important.
What are the good things and bad things about regression models and tree based models?
Good and bad things. Basically, in tree-based model, basically, yeah, tree-based models basically sometimes computational expensive if we are calculating more on the if the data size is very big. If the feature size is very big, so the tree model based not work good if the feature size is very big. Like you have thousands of feature, and like so sometime or sometime the value is more numerical, like more ordinal value, lots of ordinal value, ordinal like so that time also that tree based model are not perform good, I think maybe. Or linear regression model basically sir is a continuous data, work on continuously data. So it perform on the good on continuously data.
So are you aware of underfitting and overfitting?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Basically sir, overfitting is basically if your data is perform more on training data, and that in test data they are performing very not good, not good performance not good. So they maybe go for overfitting, and the underfitting the overfitting basically go for the higher if the data data having higher variation. So the model is basically got for the overfitting, and the underfitting is basically if you having model having very much biased. So basically the model is good for the underfitting problem. The in the like sense we can say like they don't good on the training data, and also the test data they are not performing very good.
Okay. So what kind of model typically tend to overfit?
Overfit basically in overfitting, sir, basically the variation are for the cost or variation. So
Variation or variance?
sorry, variance. Sorry for that variance. For that, sir, overfit like random forest are random forest to overcome the overfit basically. Some tree-based model are also good for the simpler model are good overfit sometimes. Simple model we are talking about like Navias and all this thing. So got K-nearest neighbor we are talking about. So they are maybe overfit sometime. So for avoiding this, we have used to assemble model.
Okay.
Some simple model we have not.
Oh, okay. Never mind. So what kind of work you have done in Python? I mean, all the model work you have done in Python only, right?
Yeah, sir. Python basically is the different kind of library for the machine learning task. I have used like scikit-learn library or mx extend library, or for the load pandas numpy I have worked on pandas. Basically I have worked on for data processing part, all this thing. And for the deep learning I have mostly work on keras and fast AI.
Okay.
Mm.
So how is a standard scalar different from min-max scalar?
Yeah, so basically standard scalar based on the deviation, basically min max uh, yeah, in every min we have calculated the difference between the data point. So from there we have calculated deviation, standard deviation we have calculated, you know and from there this is the based on for basically standard deviation based model. In mean from mean we have calculated the different every data point. And basically min max scalar is basically normalization techniques. They are calculating, they are just dividing to the max to the max to the all the data or like all the point. Basically the min max scalar is basically normalization technique, and the standardization technique are we use like that.
Okay.
Yes.
How is normal functions different from lambda functions in Python?
uh, okay. Lambda, sir, lambda. I think lambda. Okay, huh, yeah, okay. So normal function is basically, sir, the normal function we have like any programming language definition, we define the function and use it all this thing. But lambda function is basically anonymous function.
Hmm.
This is basically we have created one line of code, and then we have used the lambda function. We just need to use lambda keyword, and then we can define the function.
What is the usability? Why we have the function, right? Why we need to have a lambda function?
Yeah, basically, sir, it is basically if you want to like if you this is, like let's assume something, you work at you want to work quick manner. So if we don't need to like create some for the small task, we don't need to create the function for that. So that time we have like use the lambda to create the instant function, and that's used it out like mostly in like if you are talking about the machine learning, I use it lambda function to the pandas basically. If we pandas are apply, we have used. So from there, we have also applied the lambda function to
Okay.
yeah. So in a use case, basically, if you're talking about, so
Okay. Okay. So let us say you have two data frames, df1 and df2.
yeah,
Okay.
sir, yes, sir,
And you want to join. When I say join in the language of pandas, it is merge, right?
yeah, sir.
So when you merge these two data sets, how do
Hmm.
you retain only the records in left data?
Yeah, so there's joining left, right, outer, inner join framework or in define how you can say their keyword how in the parameter how, so we can say that left. So the mostly the left are come out.
So what I want, that is fine. Your answer is, I mean, right. It's not
Yes,
wrong.
sir. Yes,
What
sir.
I'm saying is, in the end, I will have many records, right? So
Yeah.
what you are saying is a left join. You are suggesting do a left join.
Yes, sir.
That is fine. I do a left join.
Yes,
What
sir.
what I want is, let us say my joined data set is df3. Okay, df1 and df2 joined. The
Hmm.
output is df3.
Yes, sir.
From this df3, I want to filter out the records which are only in left, not on the right side.
Only in the left edge,
Hmm.
left side.
Hmm.
So for that, sir, we have like left inner join. We have use, I think.
You have joined
Yeah,
in
yeah,
df3.
yeah,
In
yeah,
D,
sir.
in df3 you have all the records, whether whether it is common between df1 df2 or it is only in df1. You
Yeah,
have all
yeah, sir. Yeah, okay, okay. Left join we had all.
left join is done. So df3 is your output.
Yeah, sir.
From this df3, I want only the records which are not available in df2.
Not available in.
df2.
So already the record are come in to the DF one. Okay, I think. So for yeah, so from there we have like we have done some inner join, and then we have like filter out those data that not come out like one second, sir, I am thinking about that.
You got the problem, right?
Yeah, like they are df1 and df2, and
Hmm.
we want to only in df3 we want to only the left one data, df1 data, right?
df3 is your
Yeah,
left
df3.
df3
Yeah,
is your left joined output of df1 and df2.
yeah, okay, sir.
I want another data set, let's say df4, for example. I want
Yeah,
another data set.
uh-huh.
That data set should only have the records which are present in df1 but not in df2.
Okay. So this for the simply, sir, we have used like df1, we can just initialize that df1 to df3 df4, so we can only just get all the data on df1.
No, but the joint records will also be there, right? I mean, common records will also be there. I don't want common records.
For the common record, sir, like left outer join we have used for df3, and then df1 we have just used the outer join, so that can be left outer join, so maybe the left data are not come.
Every time it will be outer join, it will take all the data. It's not join.
Oh, sorry, sir. Yeah, actually didn't work it out much more on this type of problem, so basically
That is fine. See, in when you do
yeah,
pd.merge, right? When you
yeah,
do
Peter.
there is another parameter. Like the example, you can pass a parameter how.
Yeah,
You can
how, yeah, sir.
pass
Yeah,
how, you can pass on. On means joining keywords, right?
yeah, okay.
There is one more parameter you can pass, which will tell you
Yeah,
that
sir.
a particular record is in left table or right table or both.
Yeah, sir. Okay. I didn't work it much more on just joining, so that's why I didn't remember the parameter basically. So this is
That's fine.
basically,
That's
yeah,
fine.
sir.
Not a problem. So can I have duplicate keys in my dictionary?
No, sir. Dictionary key is unique.
If I try to create with duplicate, then what happens?
I think this throw the error basically. I think because the key is basically unique number assigned on the dictionary.
Okay, I want you to execute and see after this interview.
Yeah, sir. Okay. I don't know, but I think yeah, this throw the error basically the dictionary like the key values are basically unique. I think because the if you call the one key, so like if you say the one, so there is if the same key are there one and one, so I think the ambiguity, this share the ambiguity. I think wait, no, I think I didn't remember, so I didn't use any time, but I think maybe there is no option to use there is maybe some option, but in my side I didn't know the thing basically. I don't like dictionary having like a unique.
Hmm. That's fine. You can execute and see what happens.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay. And how lists is different from set?
In a lister basically there is like we can store the multiple items, but in a set the item is basically unique.
Multiple items.
Like multiple item means like we can say the name Amit and Amit two times, okay, but in a set they are only not repeat the element, they only one time we have used.
What you can say is not multiple items, duplicate items.
Yeah, sorry, duplicate item, yes, sir. Okay, sorry.
Duplicate items, right?
Yeah.
So what other things have you used in pandas apart from these?
Pandas, sir, actually uses like simple for the simple analysis task ADA. For that I have used group by statement basically on simple type of like simply task where like dropping null values, finding null values like that, simple.
Okay.
Because you don't need like much more in data preposing part. I didn't much more included part on data preposing, so I didn't much more use the pandas. Man, basically, yeah, basic thing I have know about pandas, but yeah.
So if I give you 10 numbers, right? Let's say I give you 10 numbers, okay,
Mm-hmm.
in a list in Python. I want to see the 60-second percentile. How do I do that? 62 percentile, 6 to 8, 62nd percentile.
62nd percentile.
Hmm.
For the percentile formula, we have like use, sir, for the calculating the percentile in the data set. There is like a statistical model also the function, but in like in a general way we can also like use that from all the data. If you have the 10 data from there, actually I forget the formula of percentile, but we have do the percentile formula. From there we have like get the result.
So you are aware of what is percentile, right?
Yeah, sir. Percentile is basically basically if I talking about 50 percentile, so the 50% people are above on that percentile and 50% people are below that percentage of the threshold.
Okay. So if I make a statement like 65th percentile of the marks is 32. Okay. In a class,
Yeah, yeah.
65th percentile of the marks is 32. What is the
Mhm.
meaning of this in plain English?
In plain English, sir, basically in 65% of the people are below get the 32% mark. I think 32% mark we get the 65% of the people.
I will repeat my statement.
Less. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, sir.
65th percentile marks
Yeah,
of this
okay.
class is 32. Okay.
65% the
65th percentile
okay.
is 32 of a distribution. I'm taking class, marks of a class as an example.
Okay, okay.
62nd percentile is 32 or 65th, whatever I'm saying. So what is the meaning of this in plain English?
In a 65 percentile, okay, the people 32%, 32 point. Actually, your voice is breaking, sir, so I didn't get the answer actually.
I will tell again. Is it okay
Yeah,
now?
yeah, okay, okay.
65th percentile of a distribution is 32.
65, yeah, okay, okay.
I'm saying 65th, you are saying 65.
Okay, okay, 60. Yeah, sure.
65th percentile of a population is 32. What is the meaning of this?
Okay. 65 percentile of 32 means the sir, so 65 percentile people or got 32% mark. Yeah, or yeah, 65 percentile of people or got 32% mark, like that. Like
Can you repeat my question? I mean, what I'm asking, can you tell me?
65th 65th matlab 65, 65 na same or else different. Yeah,
Same.
65, yeah, 65 percentile of the people got 32% of mark. No,
Question. I'm saying
having with
I'm saying you repeat my question once.
yeah, okay. 65% of the yeah,
Percentile. I'm not using percent anywhere.
yeah, percentile. Okay, 65 percentile of the class member are got 32% of 30 got, yeah, having.
I'm telling you to repeat my question, not answer.
Oh,
Just
okay. Yeah, okay.
repeat my question once.
Uh,
I will say
yeah, sir. Just 1 second. Was yeah.
65th percentile of a distribution is 32.
Yeah, 5 percentile of distribution is 32. Yeah.
So what is the
Uh,
meaning of this in plain English?
65 percentile distribution is 32. Okay. For that, sir, I think we have said like 65% of the whole, 55 percentile of the uh, people having their distribution as 32%.
Okay. So let us come to some statistics. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So statistics only I started with percentile. So forget
Yes,
it.
sir.
Next
Yes, sir.
thing, are you aware of conditional probability?
Yes, sir. Bayesian theorem, yeah, naive Bayes are used for conditional probability. If the condition A are true, occur, so after some A, there is two condition. So after one condition, there is a maybe chance to probability of the condition B are also occur after the sum of the condition occur.
Some example from real life.
Like some example of real life, like sir, if the thunderstorm are heaven, so rain, if it's a thunderstorm, so maybe the rain having. Rainfall having rainfall. Yeah, rainfall having.
Okay.
Yeah, sir.
So thunderstorm and rain you are telling. So tell me, what is the probability of getting an even number when you roll a dice?
If you roll a dice, okay. So the even
Probability.
number, yeah, even number. So there is like even number, uh, 3/6 1/2, 1/2, sir.
Okay. And if I tell you number is greater than equals to 4, given the number is greater than equals to 4, what is the probability of number being an even number?
Okay, 2/6, sir. Yeah, there is two number, 4 and 6 are even number, or total number, total, yeah, total number is 6. So 2/6 we have.
So this is what conditional probability is.
Yeah, sir.
Given the probability of
Yeah,
A
condition. Yeah, sir. Okay, okay.
of B. So there is a formula through which you can derive. Okay.
Yeah, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, sir.
Another thing I wanted to check is, suppose I have 10 numbers. Okay. I have 10 numbers in front of me, any 10 numbers. Okay.
Okay, sir.
In these 10 numbers, listen to me carefully. I have 10 numbers in front of me.
Yeah,
Okay.
sir.
In these 10 numbers, I add 5 in all these numbers. Okay.
Yeah, add in 5 all this number. Okay, sir.
Okay. So initially there was 10 numbers. So it will be having a mean, it will be having a median, it will be having a variance, it will be having a standard deviation. Correct.
Yeah, sir.
Now I add 5 in all these numbers. Okay.
Okay, okay.
So what happens to mean? What happens to variance? What happens to standard deviation? What happens to median?
Like numbers are add to all number, like there's number 1, so plus 5 you add, like 2 plus 5, yeah, or like
All the
like
numbers.
yeah, all the number you added the 5.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, sir. So basically, in all the statistical point of view, the the entire thing are same, because the data are, I know you just added the constant value, so maybe the all the statistical measure are same.
Okay. So
Yeah, just
I have
just
two
yes, sir.
I have two numbers, 2 and 3. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Is the mean?
2 and 3.
Hmm.
2 and 3 5, 2.5, 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah.
Now add 5 in all these numbers.
Yes, yeah, 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 but sir, like yeah, the 0.5, yeah, improve, like 2.5 plus, like if you increase the 5, so yeah, 5, yeah, if 2 plus 5, or 5 plus, so yeah, the 7, and 3 plus 5 may
8,
8, yeah, 15. So
15
yeah,
by
mean,
2.
yeah, mean is increased by 5 point, like
Mean is increasing, right?
yeah, fine, 5 points, sir.
So
Yeah, but
now,
yeah, but yeah, increase, sir. But I think, but did not change. It's basically constant. If I, like moving to the part of, like uh in, if you're putting the model and all this thing, maybe I think they may be constant. If but yeah, yeah, it is increased, sir. In
so
5.
I want you to think again and answer. What
Yeah, sir.
happens to mean? What happens to median? Without calculation. Calculation is not needed here. What
Yeah, sir.
happens to mean? What happens to median? You just tell me it will remain constant or it will change. Okay. Mean, median, standard deviation, variance. 4 things.
For the mean, what second, sir?
Mean to we calculated already. Mean is changing.
Yeah, mean is changing, sir.
What happens to median?
Median is not change, sir. Just increase the by, like if median is like 5, so it's 5 per increase to the, like uh, if a 10 number for the 5, the median is like it is increased the 5 to 10, or that's also got the 10 number, 10, 5 plus 5, 5 plus 5, 10, so we can got 10 number. So every in median or mode, basically mode. Yes, sir, all the things are actually change, improve by plus 5.
Okay. So I want you to think through what is the formula of variance. Can you recollect the formula of variance?
Uh, yeah, sir. Variance is basically, is the difference between every data point to the mean. So if you calculate the mean, like mean is like currently mean we have get, like if you have 10 numbers, so we have calculated the mean, like we have read all the number in mean 10 months or 2. So basically we have got two num. Yeah, okay. So variation is basically not change. I think variation or not change. basically the variation are same if you edit the number.
Very
Yeah, the
not
pointer change, like variation if you plot in the graph. So sometimes the graph are same in every aspect of things in if you in a variation.
not variation, variance.
Sorry, variance. Sorry, variation. Yeah, because
That is fine. This is just a fundamental,
yeah, sir.
nothing, complex here. Okay. So I think we are good. I'll just provide you some feedback for your
Yeah, sir.
benefit,
Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir.
everybody's audience benefit also. Okay.
Yeah, sir.
So first of all, I'll start with some good points. Okay. So the best point about you is you are always smiling. Okay.
Yes, sir.
That is very good. I mean, just keep this attitude. Do not smile too much in
Yeah,
in
sir.
a real interview. But yes,
Yeah, sir.
what will happen when you smile is first of all you will feel comfortable.
Yeah, sir.
Second is you will create a cozy, little easy environment in the meeting room. I mean interview room.
Yeah,
Okay.
sir.
So your smile is one good thing that I observe. Other is your knowledge is good. There is no doubt about it. Whatever you have worked on, you are able to explain many things you have worked on. So that wise also it is good. Okay. Some of the projects you are mentioning, that is also good. Okay.
Yeah, sir.
These are some of the good things. Some of the points which I want you to improve on or work on is
Yeah, sir.
I have some points noted in my phone here while I was talking to you.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Thing is you were going too fast. Okay. So
Mm.
you are too eager to answer. So just wait for the other person to finish the question.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Second is uh, see, if you are not aware of something, right, you can
Yeah,
very
sir.
well say that I am not aware of this. Okay. There is no problem. Or
Yeah,
you
okay.
can say I
Yeah,
can't
okay, sir.
recollect.
Yeah,
Okay.
sir. Yeah, okay, sir.
No problem in it. You can say I can't recollect.
Yeah, sir.
Some of the things conceptually, for example, I asked you gradient descent, you told me it's a parabola, everything is good, but one thing what you know interviewer will not like is you are telling it's a parabola is not gradient descent. Parabola is equation of a square function.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, sir.
That is given to you just to explain gradient descent. I explained or someone else explained.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is
sir.
just to explain. So gradient descent is not a parabola. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, sir. Okay, okay.
If you say these kind of things, what will happen is other person will think that you do not understand the basics well.
Yeah, yeah, okay, okay, sir.
Okay. Don't
Okay.
take me,
Yeah, sir. Yeah, no, 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 sir. No, no, sir. Yeah, it is benefit for me also.
I'm just trying to tell
Yeah, yeah,
you
sir.
what are the, otherwise you are good. What are the areas? If you take care of these areas, then your things will be better. Next is you are using some Hindi words. Don't do that. Okay.
Yeah, okay, okay, sir.
So I understand it comes from the flow or when you are trying to tell something, but happens with all of us, not a problem. But
Yes, sir.
anytime,
Actually, yeah, yeah, sir. Actually, I'm learning the English, so that's why. Actually, I'm Hindi. I don't know North Indian, so basically Chhattisgarh. Basically, people are talking to Hindi, so basically that's why.
that's fine. So
Yes,
slowly
sir.
try to
Yes,
take
sir.
care,
Learning, sir. Yes.
of that part as well. And one thing on technical side, I want to see. I was asking you a lot on two things actually. One is percentile. I'll come to that.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Is I asked you what is the difference between linear based model and tree based model.
Yeah, okay, okay, sir.
When somebody asks you this question, the very first thing you should tell is, linear based model assumes that data is linear. Okay, there is an
Yeah,
underlying assumption.
yeah, yes, sir.
There are no such assumptions in different models, right? I mean tree based model or other models.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Next is you have to understand that what makes linear model different from these models is the coefficients. Okay.
Yeah, sir.
In linear model you have coefficient. That is why I gave you the example of employee attrition. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, sir.
So when I told you that HR will want your help in controlling the attrition, means stopping the attrition,
Yeah, yeah, sir.
means HR will want to understand which variables are contributing to the attrition. Getting it?
Yeah, sir.
To understand which variables are contributing to the attrition, you need coefficients associated with the variable, right?
Yeah, yeah, sir.
That linear model can give you, but these models, it's little difficult to see the variable importance.
Yeah, yeah, sir.
That is why if you want explainability of your model,
Yeah, yeah, sir.
linear model should be a good choice.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, sir. Yeah,
And last but not the least, percentiles never confuse. Okay.
yeah, yeah, sir.
Percentile is very simple to understand.
Yeah, yeah, sir.
if I say 65th percentile of a distribution or of a population is 32,
Yeah,
the
yes.
meaning is 65% of the people in that population are below 32.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Very simple. So you would have heard of some of your friends would be giving CAT exam, right?
Yeah, yeah, sir.
People say that 98 percentile somebody got IIM. The meaning is very simple. We
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
care
sir.
what is their score. We just say that okay, 2% of the people who appeared for the CAT exam scored more than this guy. That's all. In the example I gave you, that number is 32.
Yeah, yeah, sir.
Okay. So percentile
Yeah,
will
yeah.
always come in two forms. One is what percentile and second is what number. Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So
sir. Okay.
any population or any distribution, let's say 78th percentile is 104. The meaning is 78% of the values in that population is below 104. That's all.
Yeah, sir.
Okay. So these are some of the feedbacks. I hope you don't take it personally, Nilesh.
No, no, sir. Sir, I have like one question in my mind, sir. So I just want to, I have like, I know I have give the many a company of the interview. Okay, sir. So I have cleared the technical round. In HR, after HR round, I got not get response. Like, I also got the interview like Bridge ITY company, TCS also. Like, I got the interview opportunity. Also clear the technical round. After the technical round, they take me the HR round. In HR round, like HR round is also like do a good way. Basically, there is no technical round. So after HR round, they are not giving any call and all this thing. So I wonder what thing I am basically missing.
That's
So I
what I'm
just
telling you.
want to know, sir,
Take,
why they are. Yeah, sir.
take care of two, three things. First is smiling is good,
Yeah,
but do
sir.
not be very, do not smile too much. Okay. That is one.
Yeah, sir.
Second is always respect your interviewer. Okay, which means
Yeah, yeah, sir.
you should always
Yeah, sir.
listen to what interviewer is saying, take a pause and then try to answer. You are in a hurry to answer. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, sir.
do that. So what will happen is
Yeah, sir.
some people are different types, right? Some people might take it offended. Some
Yeah,
people
sir.
might not take it. Some people
Yeah,
might
yeah,
take
sir.
it personally. Okay, that you are not allowing them to speak or something. So why to create that scene at all, right? So just take some pause and give the interviewer opportunity to speak. Have a good body language. Try to speak English how much you can. It's okay if you speak slowly, no problem. If you speak slowly, it's okay. No need to
Yeah, yeah,
speak
sir.
very fast. Try to not use Hindi words in between. Okay. Try to
Yeah, sir. Okay.
be little professional. Okay. That is the meaning
Yeah,
of
yeah, sir.
being professional. Talking nicely,
Yeah,
using
yeah, sir.
good
Yeah,
English
sir.
language. Take care of these parts. Some of the interviews, some of the people might not be liking when you use Hindi words or when you not let them speak. Okay, so take care of these things.
Yeah, yeah.
Things will be fine.
Yeah, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, sir. Yeah, thank you,
Anything
sir.
else, sir? Anything else for
No,
me?
sir. Uh, Currently, I didn't have the much. I have some offer letter also, sir. Some of the company,
Hmm.
Gyani.ai.
Hmm.
This is basically working on conversational AI.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So it's saying like you work on 3 months of internship. After that, they after the performance, you got the full time opportunity. So I'm
Okay.
thinking to you for going for that.
Yes, yes, yes. You can
Yeah.
take a call based on different aspects of what you are looking for, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, sir.
So we will wrap up. Okay. I'll
Yeah, sir.
put this
Yeah,
video
sir.
in YouTube and
Yeah,
maybe
sir.
subscriber will also have some feedback, some comments for you. Let's see.
Yeah, yeah, sir. Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Nilesh, for your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir.